Caritāmṛta and the verses been allocated to me today. So top to bottom approach, where first we have the philosophy, so we need to understand that. But from philosophy, we need to reach to the level of implementation. We got to reach to the point where we understand that where we are and where we need to reach to implement it. And before we will get into, because these words could be contradictory, this is the dictionary definition I could find. Philosophy, there are a couple of them. The study of the fundamental nature of knowledge, reality, and existence, especially when considered as an academic discipline. So we can understand the knowledge, reality, and existence. This is what we have in our Shastras as well. And the second is a theory or attitude. Now, very important that acts as a guide.
Sorry, Prabhuji, can you come closer to the mic? The voice is a bit low.
Sure, Prabhuji. Yes. Maybe because it's early morning time here, I'm a bit low, but yes, yeah. So a theory or attitude that acts as a guiding principle for behavior. And that's probably the most important bit where philosophy comes to the implementation phase. Now, philosophy as such, we can read the Shastras, Guru, Sangha, Shastras, and then we can inquire, we can ask all the questions, we can do all the introspection, how these philosophies come into practice. And as said, knowledge, reality, and existence, all these three things should come together. But it's in theory, it's going to change the attitude because it's a guiding principle for our behavior. So starting from the knowledge, it got to change the behavior of us. When I say us, that belongs to the devotees congregation. Obviously, because I put this together, I will go very personal to what I think myself. Because I could at least say something about me, even if I'm not sure about the rest of it. So this is how I proceed, and please feel free to correct me anywhere you think I'm going stray. I have the references from different acharyas, different teachers, which I will give them. Meanwhile, but Brahma Madhva Gauriya Sampradaya, that's the one we follow. And Achintya Bheda, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji clarified, confirmed, and that's what we try to follow. Then the Shastras, the very first one, Bhagavad Gita as it is. And where Bhagavad Gita ends, a devotee should reach to the conclusion that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If somebody hasn't reached to that conclusion, then we need to go back and we need to read Bhagavad Gita again. But if we have reached to that conclusion, because that's where Bhagavad Gita ends, and that's where Srimad Bhagavatam starts. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, from the first verse, it's been granted, it's been taken that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And going forward, right at the end, throughout the process, right at the end, it's clarified, it's confirmed, authenticated, that if we take the shelter of the holy name, that all the sins will be eradicated. And that's the only way to get delivered. And then from there we start Chaitanya Caritāmṛta. So in Chaitanya Caritāmṛta, there is no discussion that we need to take the shelter of holy name, because that's been given, that's been taken, that has been understood in Srimad Bhagavatam. So what we have in Chaitanya Caritāmṛta, bird eye view, is the devotees' biographies of numerous elevated devotees, stating again and again how they have taken the shelter of holy name and how they have been delivered by the Lord himself, who is none other than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in Chaitanya Caritāmṛta, Ādi-līlā, we have 17 chapters, and 17 chapters have been divided into 4 different sections. So invocation, the first 12, then 13, 14, incarnation, 15, 16, education, transformation, 17. So from this, we could understand that we are doing chapter 4. We are on chapter 4, which is part of invocation. And probably the most important, because chapter 4 is regarding internal. Now we know the external reasons, we have done them before. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji came down for the Yuga Dharma, came down to give the holy name, came down to fulfill the desires of Advaita, that Acharyaji. But now we are moving towards internal reasons. And this is one of those verses where we have these 3 reasons given in one. And if I try to read that, it says, Śrī Radhaya Pranaya Mahima, Vidrusho va Anayave. Savadho ye Abhuta, Adbhuta Madhurima, Vidruso va Madhya. Shokyam Chasya Mad Anubhata, Vidrusam Veiti Lobhat. Tad Bhavadhya Samajay Sachi Garbha Sindhu Haridu. Now, if we go into these 3 words, as I said, the internal reasons, these are the 3 main reasons. And in past few weeks, many different devotees, they've been here and they have explained it very, very nicely. Now, I don't think I would be able to do any justice to that, but just to summarize what I have heard, what I have understood from these terms, Prana, Mahima. Krishna wants to know, that's the first internal reason, that Krishna wants to know the greatness or glories of prema of Radharani. And the second, Adbhuta Madhur. Krishna's wonderful sweetness, he's made up of, so he would like to know what he's made up of, what's there which attracts Radharani. Now this, that Krishna is thinking, and this comes in light of the verses, that I give pleasure to everyone. She's the one who gives pleasure to me. So I'm the source of the pleasure for everyone, but she's the source of my pleasure. And then we reach to the next one, Shokyam Chasyam Mad Anugata. What happens when Radharani performs bhakti or devotion, services towards me? So that's where all the devotees, because we see gopis as there's no harm in it, as the top. Gopis are the top, and among those, Radharani ji is the top most devotee of Krishna. And when she does the devotional service, we can understand how Krishna perceives that. And these are the 3 internal reasons which have been elaborated, explained very well. Now, in terms of the verses, 243, Krishna says about the beauty. 244, Krishna says about the vibration. 245, fragrance. 246, taste. 247, touch. 248, happiness. And 249, the feeling. So all different aspects of the interaction we could have with someone, Krishna is trying to describe, narrate in these verses. And right at the end, Krishna says in 250 that I get satisfied. There's nothing else which could satisfy, but I get satisfied. I really, really get satisfied with all that when I get it from Radharani. When I get it from my devotees who are totally surrendered to me. Totally surrendered to me. And in this, different teachers, they have explained very nicely, very, very nicely. But coming to you, Prabhuji, you explained it very nicely recently, the 9 stages of bhakti. Now, how I understand that what Krishna is explaining, or the author is explaining the Bhava, that Krishna gets satisfied where Radharani ji is there, right at the top, Krishna Prema. That's where Radharani ji is there, and that's where Krishna is interacting. And when I think of myself, that where I am, then I really see myself down there, that I'm even struggling. So that's where I start doing introspection, that what's in there for me, what I can get from when I read these verses. That is it just the glorification of Radharani, glorification of devotees, as we said, Caitanya Caritāmṛta is full of devotees' biographies. So could I do something if I would like to get to that level? Or I would like to get the mercy of the devotees, mercy of the Lord. And then again, I think of the Golok Charter, which we discussed. And in that, again, where Krishna gets satisfied, where Krishna is there with Radharani ji is there in the spiritual world, and where I'm struggling to be is here in material world. So, but again, even in material world, we have many devotees who could reciprocate that way. But if you're comparing, not comparing as such, but in the verses when Krishna mentions about the Radharani's interactions, and it's there in Goloka, and I'm here in material world, and maybe some of you were able to relate with me. Now, obviously, just to get it better, try to understand things even much clearer from Sampraday's perspective. I'm doing Bhakti Shastri. In Bhakti Shastri, we have 4 books: Bhagavad Gita as it is, Śrī Caitanya, Nectar of Instruction, Nectar of Devotion. Now, the first 2 books, Bhagavad Gita and Śrī Caitanya, they explain who is the sadhya, what. So they tell us all about Krishna. So what we should aspire to be with Krishna. And then Nectar of Instruction, Nectar of Devotion, from one of the biggest devotees you could find, Rupa Goswami ji, who explains how we could get. So there is a sadhya and there is sadhana. The first 2 scriptures, Bhagavad Gita and Śrī Caitanya, will clarify the sadhya. And Nectar of Instruction and Nectar of Devotion will explain and exemplify the sadhana, what we should get involved in. But those are, and this is coming from Chaitanya Charan Prabhuji, part of his Bhakti Shastri course, which is online. I'm perceiving that as well. That these last 4 books, they are for Bhakti Shastri. But these 4 books, he reckons, for life. And I think he quoted that Srila Prabhupada mentioned that Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Śrī Caitanya Caritāmṛta, and Nectar of Devotion. These 4 books are there for the devotees for life. So once Bhagavad Gita is, Bhakti Shastri is done, then we move forward, and for life we need to have these books, going back again and again, getting back to the basics and clarifying where we are, where we want to, and how we could get it further. If that's the idea, to get the mercy, to get the Krishna Prema, to go back to Godhead. Now, in all that Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Śrī Caitanya Caritāmṛta, we are doing it now. Nectar of Devotion is like what we say in the last slide, that what we could do, how we could do, and that's where the how is. And in this slide, there's similar representation that first we have Bhagavad Gita, which is a Vedic. So almost everybody accepts this as a Vedic. Bhagavatam, all the Vaishnavas will accept it. But then Chaitanya Caritāmṛta and Nectar of Devotion, all the Gauriya Vaishnavas will accept that. So Nectar of Devotion is where we could understand how we could make our life better, how we could make our sadhana better. So we could understand those things better. Never mind to reach to that level, but at least we will be able to reach by the mercy of Guru and Gauranga, to understand those things better. Nectar of Devotion is there. Now in Nectar of Devotion, there are many chapters, 90 odd chapters, and then I just thought, let's have a look for just first 3 chapters. The first one, characteristics of pure devotee. So we can understand what Nectar of Devotion is trying to say. Nectar of Devotion is trying to make us a pure devotee, or try to inspire us to be one. And then the second one, the first stages of devotion. And then when we will start working towards that journey, then we need to understand there are different stages and where we are, and we will start from the first stage. Then, of course, whether we are qualified or not. So it is the eligibility criteria for accepting devotional service. So we need to have that ground level understanding, whether we are there, whether we could start it or not. Now, again, coming back to 9 stages, we said that Krishna is satisfied by the devotee which is on that level. And if I would say I'm on that level, and then nectar of devotion might be able to take me from this level to that level, from sadhana bhakti to Krishna prema. Of course, all throughout the process needs the association and Guru's mercy, and of course, the mercy of the Lord, because it's a causeless mercy. But we got to do the efforts, as it says in Nectar of Devotion. Now, this is coming from Ghanshyam Govinda prabhuji, who is in Sydney. And there is a very nice temple there. He's there and he runs the courses on Śrī Caitanya Caritāmṛta. And the way he explains what happens when the devotee reaches to that level, Krishna prema, and go back to Godhead and first time sees the God. So the God is there, the Krishna is there in personified form, and we can see Krishna in person as Krishna, as absolute truth. Now it says, the way he explains that the very first time when the devotee would meet Krishna from the eyes, and it says that just like Krishna, all the senses could do everything. So the eyes could see, but the nose can see, and the ears could see. So similarly, devotee would develop those qualities as well, and devotees, 2 eyes will not be good enough, but devotees will be able to see Krishna from all the different senses we have. And then devotee would not able to take that in one go, and devotee will faint. Devotee will be so overwhelmed by this experience, devotee will fall down. And then Krishna would come a bit closer to the devotee, and then devotee will able to smell that fragrance of the lotus feet of Krishna. And then again, wake up. But again, not only from the nose, all the senses will able to take that fragrance in. And again, he will be overwhelmed and again, fearful and full of anxiety, overwhelmed, he will faint again. Then Krishna will come closer. Then Krishna will touch the devotee. And that's when the devotee will come back. And at this point, he again explains that there are different rasas like we have. So if somebody has 4 rasas or 5 rasas, as we say, but so somebody, if in Sakhya rasa has prayed to the God all the time, then Lord will come, touch the devotee, wake the devotee up and shake the hand and say, well done, mate, you made it, you're here. And obviously somebody's in Vatsalya and tears are pouring down, then Krishna, as a child form, will sit in the lap of the devotee and will try to take away those tears away. And of course, if it's in Madhurya or Dasya, then Krishna will have, if it's in Dasya, Krishna will put the lotus feet on the head and then Krishna will try to elevate the devotee. Then it says Krishna will give the Mahaprasad and then the tongue will get purified. And then devotee is there in ecstasy, overwhelmed with all the senses with Krishna. And then obviously Krishna will take the name of the devotee as well, meanwhile to wake him up if he won't. And then ears will get purified as well. So all the senses will be engaged in the service of Krishna. And this is what happens when the devotee has reached there. Now, again, coming back to the philosophy, coming back to the basics, that the knowledge is there, the reality is there, and the existence is there. And this is very, very close to what we say Satya Chit Ananda. Devotee will start from there, devotee will take the theory, devotee will change their attitudes, take this as the guiding principle, but it got to implement at the behavior level. So we need to act as a devotee. So all these things. So when we will perform our devotional services, all these things all these attributes will come into our behavior. And then through our service, just like Radharani ji, we will be able to satisfy Krishna. So when we perform devotional service, it's not to satisfy our senses, it's to satisfy Krishna, just like what Radharani ji does. And that's what Krishna is confirming in this, that all those things there. And another thing which Prabhuji mentioned in his lecture, that is like Radharani ji is not just the musical rhythm which brings back the memories of Krishna. When even if two bamboo sticks are sticking together, that noise reminds Radharani ji about Krishna's fluid, and she will think of Krishna. And that's the aim, that's the objective, to get the Krishna prema, to go back to God, to go back to Krishna. But I see this as the bridge. So where we are now and where we need to go to Krishna. We are here at material world, we need to go back to spiritual world, to go back to God. And there's a big bridge there. And of course, Guru, the association is there, the sadhana is there. To bridge that gap in between. But then what do we need to do? Nectar of devotion. We need to follow the instructions in nectar of instruction. What do we need to do? The qualities, the attributes we need to develop, which will be a behavior change in the devotional services, the way we perform devotional services. And then we will be able to cross it. Until then, those things, those biographies, they are there to inspire us. But it won't be much use if they won't change our behavior in our devotional service. And this is my last slide, and this comes from His Holiness Sadhana Swamiji Maharaj, where he explains very nice, and it depends which side of the bridge we are and how we change it. As I said, how will be devotional, nectar of devotion, but how it depends. When the very first time Krishna goes to Mathura, then different interactions he had, and he meets a flower man, and he asks, "They are beautiful, would you give it to me?" And even though those flowers were for Kamsa, but he didn't have any fear. He had devotion towards Krishna. He had the faith and total surrender towards Krishna. And then he offered all the flowers he had, the best bouquet he could make, he offered to Krishna. And what Krishna did, Krishna delivered him then and there. There wasn't any process involved in it. That's it. Total surrender to Guru, Gauranga, to Krishna, to Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji will do the job. And on the contrary, the clothesman, the tailor himself, when Krishna approached him, the same question, and he had the same opportunity. And Krishna said, "Would you give it to me?" And what he said. So he had two things. First, he was fearful. He was fearful that I'm a tailor for Kamsa. All these clothes are for Kamsa. And then he was full of pride as well. Ahankar, false ego. What he said, that you are a Gwala. This is for the king. So he had both two things. And as long as we have both those two things, it's hard. It's very, very hard for us to get further in our devotional service on the path of the spiritual enlightenment, to achieve Krishna Prema, to go back to Golok Dhama. So it's our choice whether we want to be a flower man, whether we want to be clothes man. Krishna gives the opportunity to everyone. It's the behavior. Understanding the philosophy is the behavior of a devotee, whether we can satisfy Krishna through the interactions we have in our devotional service. Not only Krishna, obviously, through the medium of the association to all the devotees as well, who can help us to go back to Krishna. Now, my sincere apologies, the way I pronounce the verses. I'm really bad in that in Sanskrit and in Bengali. But anything, feel free to correct me, Prabhuji, and any of the devotees. I hand over back to you, Prabhuji. Then we pronounce Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. It's wonderful explanation, and with the help of beautiful, colorful slides, it was much more clear for us what is sadhya, what is sadhana, where is Krishna, how to please him, where we are, and the long bridge you showed to cross with the help of a guru and devotees. It's nice, Prabhu. It's wonderful explanation. Thank you very much for your all efforts to make these wonderful slides and try to make us understand, take us through the nectar. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thanks once again. So we have, I think some of the comments, questions would be there. Probably we'll wait till we finish Sankarshan Prabhu. Sankarshan Prabhu, are you ready, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, I'm ready.
Thank you, Prabhu. So please, now all yours.
Yeah, I pay my humble obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, beloved Guru Maharaj, and all the listeners. Please bless me so that I can do my service with the proper mood and proper words comes out, not offending anybody, not offending the sanctity of the slokas and the bhava of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. I'll take you from 251 to 260. This is 251 for 251. I hope everybody can. Prabhu, I am audible and screen can be seen.
Yes, Prabhu. Everything is perfect. Go on.
I hope everybody can see the screen.
Yes, Prabhu. We can see.
Hello.
Prabhu Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
I am
Prabhu, we
here.
can see.
I can hear, but I hope I am audible.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
Prabhu.
audible, Prabhuji.
You are audible. Your screen also, it is very clear.
Okay,
Please go
fine.
ahead.
Fine.
Perfecto, Prabhu.
Yeah. Parasparu venu gite haraya chara chetana mora brahme tamalera karya lingana. The flute-like murmur of the bamboos rubbing against the another stills Radharani's consciousness, for she thinks it to be the sound of my flute, and she embraces a tamal tree, mistaking it for me. I mean, you can see the tamal tree which is there in the courtyard of our Krishna Balram temple, Vrindavan. And it was found before construction of temple. Prabhupada ji has strictly instructed this tree to be preserved by the management. So this can give, we can have darshan. I would have seen many times, but never given focus on this. But hopefully whenever in the next meeting, I could revisit this tree and pay our obeisances. 252. Krishna lingana painu janama safale Krishna sukhe magna rahe vriksha kari kole. I've gotten the embrace of Sri Krishna. She thinks, so now my life is fulfilled. Thus she remains immersed in pleasing Krishna, taking the tree in her arms. You can see Radharani embracing Tamal tree, considering it as a Krishna. 253. Anukulevate yadi paya mura ganda udiya padita kache premahaya anda. When a favorable breeze carries to her the fragrance of my body, she is blinded by love and tries to fly into that breeze. You can see Radharani is flying with Krishna, but she perceives the aroma of Krishna as a Krishna. So she sees everywhere Krishna. 4254. Tambula charvita yabe kare aswadane anande samudra dube kichui na jane. When she tastes the betel chewed by me, she merges in an ocean of joy and forgets everything else. Radharani, these photographs from the website directly or indirectly connected to our main ISKCON Desire Tree or some other temple related websites. 255. Ama sangame radha paye ananda satamukhe bali tabena paitaranta. Even with the hundreds of mouths, I could not express the transcendental pleasure she derives from my association. Krishna is mesmerized what is there in me, giving Radha so much pleasure which I myself can't derive. So you can see the picture how beautiful somebody has painted. 4.256. Lila ante sukhe inhara angera madhuri taha dekhi sukhe ami apna pasari. Seeing the luster of her complexion after our pastime together, I forget my own identity and happiness. Atmaram Krishna forgets himself, enjoying his own internal potency. Now Ananta can't estimate his own Ananta aspect. I mean, you can see how helplessly Krishna is enjoying his own internal potency. (257) Donyara ye samarasa Bharata muni mane amar raje rasa se nahi jane. The sage Bharata has said that the mellows of lover and beloved are equal, but he does not know the mellows of my Vrindavana. So in purport, Prabhupada is writing that according to expert sexologists like Bharata Muni, the male and the female enjoys equally in material sexual pleasure. But in the spiritual world, the relationships are different, although this is unknown to mundane experts. So this picture, we can't perceive that the lover and beloved's intensity of love, as mentioned in purport, that but here it is ever increasing by pleasure of lover, by seeing the pleasure on the face of lover, beloved, the counterpart becomes more happy, which increase again. So it is kind of a synchronized process which is increasing at every moment, the bliss derived by both of them. So it's no match in material calculation. Yeah. 258. Anyera sangame ami yata sukha pai taha haite radha sukha satadikai. The happiness I feel when meeting Radharani is 100 times greater than the happiness I get from meeting others. So you can see Radha Sukhe Sata Adikai. Madan Mohan and Madan Mohan Mohini. Everybody knows the term that Srimati Radharani is attracting all attractive Krishna. And this is a big sloka. I'll try to recite. Nidu tamrut madhuri parimala kalyani bimbadaro vaktam pankaj shaurabham kuharita sladha pidat segira anga chandana shitalam tanuriyam Shaundarya Sarvashabha Tvama Sadma Medra Mindriya Kulam Radhe Murha Modate. My dear auspicious Radharani, your body is the source of all beauty. Your red lips are softened in the sense of immortal sweetness. Your face bears the aroma of a lotus flower. Your sweet words defeat the vibration of the cuckoo, and your limbs are cooler than the pulp of sandalwood. All my transcendental senses are overwhelmed in ecstatic pleasure by tasting you, who are completely decorated by beautiful qualities. Purport, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This was spoken by Lord Krishna to Radha is recorded in the Lalit Madhava 9.9 of 260 is also of same kind in terms of tune. Rupe kansa harasya lubda nayana sparsheti hasya tvacham vanya mukta kalita shrutim parimale shamrastana saputam arajya drashna kiladara pute nyasmukamborua Dambodhar Gina Mahadruti Bahirapi Prodam Vikarakulam. Her eyes are enchanted by the beauty of Lord Krishna, the enemy of Kamsa. Her body thrills in pleasure at his touch. Her ears are always attracted to his sweet voice. Her nostrils are enchanted by his fragrance, and her tongue anchors for the nectar of his soft lips. She hangs down her lotus-like face, exercising self-control only by pretense. But she cannot help showing the external sign of her spotless love of Lord Krishna. Purport. Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Rupa Goswami described the countenance of Srimati Radharani. This is the last sloka of today. Tatte jhani mote ache kuna ek rasa amar mohini radha tare kare vasa. Considering this, I can understand that some unknown melos in me controls the entire existence of my captivator, Srimati Radharani. So picture you can see that he is the captivator of everything, but now controllers, Srimati Radharani controls the controller. So this is all about the slides. Now I will stop this slide and I will explain on all the principles and whatever I have prepared. 1 minute. How come this is not going? So this chapter is entitled as Confidential Reason for the Appearance of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu. And now as we have gone through the slides, first impression that leaves to us is that Krishna is overwhelmed by seeing the beauty of Srimati Radharani, and Srimati Radharani derives unlimited pleasure, bliss by serving her beloved Sri Krishna. Krishna is the enjoyer, Atma Rama and Bhokta Rama. I mean, there are many words mentioned to signify that he is the ultimate enjoyer. But now he has become object of enjoyment by Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani is blinded by the love of Madan Mohan. She sees everywhere. She derives enjoyment by engaging herself with those entities. Of course, in the spiritual world, all are Chetan, all are conscious. But seeing this non-moving or apparently Jada kind of, I mean, the Tamal tree, seeing Tamal tree, Radharani is feeling that is the Krishna. It gives the remembrance of Krishna, and she treats Tamal tree as a Krishna. The aroma passing to Krishna, she flies with her, that aroma, thinking that Krishna is there with me. So there must be, and this kind of experiences, and as Varunapati Prabhu explained the different aspect, how Srimati Radharani is experiencing the love, and which is also being, has become the object of love for Krishna. So this subject matter mentioned in this specific chapter, which is entitled as a confidential reason for the appearance of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So there must be some purpose to know the depth of this sloka. This will help us to have vision or perceive the real mood of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu. As Prabhu also mentioned, the three internal reasons, will not go deep in the reasons because many speakers have explained nicely, as mentioned in 230 or 4 or 1.6. I mean, again, it is mentioned in 230 sloka. The three internal reasons are desiring to understand. What to desire, what to understand. Pranav Mahima, that is the glory of Radharani's love. Adbhut Madhurima, that is the wonderful qualities in him that she alone realizes through her love. And the third is Sokhyam Chayasya, the happiness she feels when she realizes the sweetness of his love. So these three aspects, just to relish, to understand, to feel, Krishna has come in form of Caitanya Caritāmṛta. I mean, going through the purport, and if we slightly meditate on this subject, it becomes really heavy because having polluted consciousness, materially affected consciousness and senses, this looks very heavy. I mean, that understand this tattva becomes heavy in our mind, that how can we touch this kind of topics with limited understanding. But similar subject matter, I mean, if we see in history, her guest Radharini Mataji also explained that this kind of subject matter was written nicely in poems by different poets, Leela Sukha, Sri Bilwa Mangala Thakur, Chandidas, Vidyapati. So they have written those aspect. I mean, addressing this aspect, they have written the poems, many rhyming sentences, sloka. We can see that the similar situations, a similar scenario, or maybe exchanges has been explained in their words. But the words, those words of those slokas or the poems are not carrying the mere meaning of those words or sentences. It is heavily loaded with so much emotions and sentiments. So for sadhaka to decode the real meaning, to unlock, to open, to understand the real meaning, there are three options. Either we can bring those acharyas in front of us and understand the intensity of those words or sentences or poems, or simulate the situation in front of us, or through various analogies. But unfortunately, all three will never work. Why? Because we are not, I mean, it is not possible for us to pursue this through any of these three options. So, to convey this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has personally appeared to exhibit the same bhava, same exchanges. And what could be the reason why we cannot perceive the depth of such exchanges? Maybe because of our material conditioning, ignorance, and more importantly, we are devoid of mercy. When mercy comes, and automatically these principles, these tattvas, these exchanges can be unlocked in front of us. And this deficiency can be overcome. However, we can overcome these deficiencies by association of Gaur Bhaktas. By telling that association means by reading those books, their books. Like we are associating with Srila Prabhupada by reading Srila Prabhupada's books. So that way, taking association, we can understand, we can have a glimpse of this difficult, this aspect of intimate relationships between Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna. So we can find out the teacher from Chaitanya Leela who can teach us and guide us to pursue such divine spotless affair. And who could be a teacher in Chaitanya Leela? I'm just going through sequence. I mean the sequence that how we can approach this topic. So Chaitanya Leela, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then Chaitanya Leela, who could be a teacher? And immediately question comes in our mind and answer also pop up that, okay, the person who has mastered on this topic. So he must be a master who can understand the tattva, who can understand bhava also. But what is the position? What stand the teachers have taken? I'll just explain, this is mentioned in Chaitanya Leela. Ami ki be Ramananda athava pandita kehe na bujibe tata prabhu udita. Neither I nor Ramananda, Gadadhar Pandit, or anyone else will ever understand the love and the love that the Lord revealed. So this is who is telling? Swarup Damodar. Swarup Damodar is none other than Lalita Sakhi. When Raghunath Das Goswami somehow could meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Swarup Damodar, you please take care of Raghunath Das Goswami. Who is Raghunath Das Goswami? Is Rati Manjri. So Krishna in Radharani's mood telling Lalita Sakhi that you please teach this science to this Manjri. And Raghunath Das Goswami used to take 3-4 hours class in the in every day evening at Radha Kunda in Vrindavana, and there Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami used to come and attend. So you can see how this flow, how this divine pastimes information is passing through us, passing through acharyas and reaching to us. In Mahaprabhu's Leela, Vatsalya Rasa was exhibited by Paramananda Puri, Sakhya Rasa was by Ramanand Rai, Dasya was Govinda, and Madhurya Rasa was by Gadadhar Pandit, Jagdananda Pandit, and Swarup Damodar. So who could be the best teacher if we want to know or to have glimpse of divine pastime? Any one of this, Gadadhar Pandit, Jagdananda Pandit, or Swarup Damodar. I'll discuss on Jagdananda Pandit, his divine pastime with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Who is Jagdananda Pandit? Jagdanand Pandit has learned Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam from Sivanand Sen, who is Kavi Karnapur's father. Kavi Karnapur was writing the poem, esoteric poems at the age of 7. And his father Sivanand Sen was teaching Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam to Jagdanand Pandit. So you can understand that who is his teacher, I mean, how qualified teacher. So he would have definitely jumped into Buddhi Yoga rather than going to focusing at all on Sankhya Yoga. I mean, Natyaham Jatu Nasa, what is Atma, what is Prakruti, what is... Straight away he would have accepted that Jiva Swarupa Krishna Nityadas. So that is the beginning of Jagdananda Pandit. Now Jagdanand Pandit, what he is telling, I mean, we understood the Swarup Damodar's mood, that nobody can explain the divine pastime of Srimati Radharani or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Jagdanand Pandit also writing something similar to that Namete Panita Matra Ghate Kichu Nai, Ghate Kichu Nai. It's telling that I am a Pandita in name only, there is nothing in my pot. I am empty. Still I want to write about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime. So we can understand that how humble position these all acharyas are taking. So we pray that the tinge of this humbleness, humility comes in our character, our behavior also while performing our sadhana. Having said this, these acharyas have not, I mean, they didn't get away from teaching us, but they very well know that how to uplift the consciousness of jivas from, as Prabhu highlighted, from Saddha level to Prema. So they teach us the principles. In their books, they teach us the principles first, Tattva first. Recite 2 sloka, just to give you idea that similar principle, not similar, there are many principles of such kind are explained in the respective books. I am talking about Prema Vivarta and Caitanya Caritāmṛta. Prema Vivarta is a concise form of CC, Caitanya Caritāmṛta. Okay. So, hand to hand. 1.6 in the PV, Jagdanand Pandit is telling that Vastu Sakti Dware Vastu Deya Parichaya Vastu Sakti Kriya Yoge Sarva Siddha Hoya. What the principles is teaching? The Absolute reveals himself through his energy. Everything is affected by the action of Absolute's energy. So if we want to have access to Absolute, then we should have internal energy. And in second sloka, he is telling that, I'm just reading the purport because we may not have time sufficient to cover everything. So I'm just reading the translation. The Absolute's energy is 3 things. 1, spirit by nature, existence in form, and pleasure in action. The Absolute's energy thus possesses 3 aspects. These 3 aspects, its energy's aspect, and through which we can approach to Absolute. The nature, spirit by nature, existence in form, and pleasure in action. So these principles and such kind of principles, not one, many principles they mention in their respective books, just to make the foundation for our spiritual understanding, just to understand the tattva. And in Bhagavad Gita also Krishna is telling in 1154, 1861, and my tattva, tattvataha gnatva. So this tattva, this philosophy will make the sound foundation on which we can build our spiritual understanding, which will have the fruits of bhava, prema, which is not mere sentiments, but it has a strong foundation. It has strong connection of philosophy. So Mataji, I guess Ādī-līlā Mataji last class, she nicely mentioned it. All that these principles are helpful to us to fight against our enemies like lust, mainly in 3.37 Mahasano Mahapapo. We understand this is the biggest enemy, lust, and then anger, greed, that all help us to come out from this internal enemies. So these are the principles being taught. This is the requirement, significance of the principles. We have also understood the mood of the, we have understood that why we should go through the acharyas, through Chaitanya Lila, and to reach to prema stage. Now we'll discuss the prema part. So our material unclear illusion consciousness, except one aspect, that love has many colors, love has many exchanges, love has many reciprocations between loved and beloved. So Krishna being Rasraj, he is the owner of all the rasas. So he has given this rasa to different acharyas, different souls, pure devotees, and through which Krishna is enjoying that particular rasa to the topmost degree. So today we are going to discuss on Vamya Bhava, one rasa of the love aspect, of the pure prema aspect, of the pure priti aspect. So Vamya Bhava is today's my main topic to discuss in this class. Person who is very sensitive, what is Vamya Bhava? Person who is very sensitive about subtle things and known for the peculiar characteristic of the reactions produced by his divine love. That is Vamya Bhava. It's a peculiar characteristic. Like Satyabhama has Vamya Bhava. The nature of highest class of Naika and the heroines, they instantly refuse whatever offered to them by their lover, Nayaka. In the science, so Nayaka is proposing something to Naika, hero is proposing something to heroine, and immediately the Naika is going to refuse that. Naik, as per his understanding, the most pleasurable thing what he feels is offering to Naika, but Naika is straight away outrightly reject, because she has the better proposal to please his Nayak, please his loved one. So this situation creates the quarrel. This situation creates the difference of opinion. And this situation creates the fight. But that fight, that quarrel, that exchange is the topmost rasa. This is what Prema Vivarta says. It is not my word. So please, I'm not speculating on this, being unexperienced and ignorant. I can't use any of my words. Radharani's nature is also that type, always in opposition, Nirantar Vamya Bhava. The spirit opposition is peculiar thing, and the expert in rasa says that it is the highest mood because it enhances the intensity of other side. This is PV's verdict. This mood is found in Jagadananda, who is none other than Satyabhama. So we'll discuss on Jagadananda to understand the Vamya Bhava, which is being realized by Srimati Radharani and Krishna through his exchange, Jagadananda's exchanges with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So by knowing this, what is our motivation? I mean, we come to know that, okay, this is the Vamya Bhava and this kind of exchanges would be there, but what is at sadhaka level, what could be our motivation? It is mentioned in Caitanya Caritāmṛta that Jagdanandir prema vivarta sunayi jana preme raswarupa jane paye prema dhana. Paye prema dhana. One can easily get prema dhana by understanding the life story of Jagdananda, by understanding the exchanges, his mood of Jagdananda. So this way Caitanya Caritāmṛta and PV both goes hand to hand. Both the writers have mentioned referring their viewpoints, which are exactly 100% same. For example, another aspect also I will highlight, just to convince, just to state that both the subject matter, both addressing different words, but both are addressing the same subjects. In CC, it is said that Gauranga's pastime are superior to all other Leelas and form of the Lord. So Gaur Sundar pastime is superior to Krishna Leela also. In PV, it is written that, whenever I say PV, please understand that this is Prema Vivarta. It is difficult to pronunciate, so I am using PV word. It is not to dishonor the name. So PV, it is written that golden Krishna appeared to fulfill his desire and feels more joy in Navadvipa Dham than he does in Braja. So In CC it is said that Gaur Sundar's pastime are better than Krishna Lila, and in PV it is said that Navadvip Dham Lila is better than. This is a transcendental comparison. We should not compare through a material aspect or material viewpoints, but this is their verdicts, so which goes same to same. And this is only one aspect I'm highlighting here. There are many aspects. Both are kind of same. So I mean, telling this, I want to convey here that their mood, the flow, their bhava, their understanding, their tattvas going same in one line, one flow. Throughout Prema Vivarta, Sri Jagdananda Pandit described emotions and ecstasies in many sentences, which give us a glimpse that how he must be feeling with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There are 15-20 sentences, but since time is not there, I will speak about 3 sentences. In one sentence, what is writing? That the pangs and transformation of love constantly dance within my mind. I quarrel with Gaura every day, and thus so he's accepting that I can't live without Chaitanya, but whenever I meet him, I can't resist myself and I fight. I mean, my mood is, I can't help myself. That is what he's telling. I'm known as angry Jagai. He's telling I cannot tolerate a moment of separation as Gaura dances in my heart. He does not let me die. But when I leave, we quarrel. So this way he's telling that I can't help myself. Whenever I meet him, I'll end up fighting with him. In Chaitanya Lila, also in Antya-līlā, Ādi-līlā, 2-3 places it is mentioned that this is Jagdananda. I will just speak one stanza of this loka. Anyo anye khatamati chale dui jane. Jagdananda Pandit has a deep, pure devotion like Satyabhama. His love is leftist. Again and again, no loving quarrel with. He lovingly quarrels with the Lord. There are always disagreement between them. So, if we say that they had disagreement, but they can't they can't be separated. I mean, they can't. They forced to live together. They, by their love, the bondage of. I mean, their bhava is such that they can't separate from each other, though they are doing quarrel. I mean, they are fighting. In another sloka also it is written same thing, that Jagdananda is so fortunate. His exchange with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya relishing to is the best pleasure, and he is not allowing him to go away. So, and also mention that Jagdananda's fortune is unlimited. I mean, this is the Acharya's verdict, that Jagdananda's fortune is unlimited. He is the only comparison that there is for his fortune. His fortune is incomparable. Jagdananda Pandit not only had profound, intimate pastime with the Lord, he also had the deepest form of association with Lord's devotee. So this is the Jagdananda Pandit. Now we will listen 3 Leela in a very short, but you can understand that how he was fighting with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was liking him, liking his approach. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also similarly reciprocate with him. So once what happened was carrying a large clay plot full of sandalwood from Bengal to Puri. He was nicely taking care. After walking almost 300 miles or kilometers, I don't know, but it's a too long distance, he walked and he reached to Puri. He gave it to Govinda. Govinda is a servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jagdananda told that, Govinda, you please keep this pot. And in this pot, the sandalwood oil is there, which is given by Sivanand Sen. So when I got this, immediately came in my mind that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is he dances and he sings. And after dancing, and he sometimes become unconscious, sometimes he fall down. So this oil will give cooling effect. It will give soothing effect. So better you keep it and preserve it nicely. Don't waste it. So lovingly was telling to Govinda and this was overheard by Mahaprabhu. And as I told you, any proposal, disagreement will come. And Mahaprabhu wanted to enjoy that. So Mahaprabhu told Govinda, can you please come here? Govinda went there, told Govinda, what is that Jagdananda was telling you? Govinda told that Mahaprabhu, this was a pot full of sandalwood oil, which Jagdananda has got from all the way from Navadvip. So, and this is for you. It is very good for your health. So Mahaprabhu told, no, I am sannyasi. I can't accept this at all. You please take.
Prabhu, we are missing your voice, missing the Leela. Ribol Sankarshan Prabhu. Prabhu, we can't hear you. Sankarshan Prabhu, where are you?
Hello, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. We lost your voice. We lost the Leela.
Internet. So Jagdananda came to know that Mahaprabhu was rejected. So he went, took that pot and went right in front of Chaitanya and expressed his disagreement, anger, and went inside and locked himself in the room. Chaitanya Prabhu, and he was not eating. When Chaitanya Prabhu came to know that Jagdananda is angry, I should not go immediately. But after 3 days, he went inside and knocked the door and told Jagdananda, I am hungry. If you don't cook for me, I'm not going to eat. Jagdananda immediately came out and he paid obeisances. And Mahaprabhu told that I want to eat vegetable, sag and payas and rice. So very happily he cooked for him. And then Mahaprabhu told Govinda that you make sure that Jagdananda also take food. So this way this exchange. I'll briefly explain another Leela. Jagdananda wanted to go to Vrindavan and he was keep repeating this request to Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu was outrightly rejecting that no, Jagdananda, nobody can handle you. I only can handle you because if somebody tells about me or something negative comes in your mind, you will start fighting with that person. And Vrajdham is full. There are many Vrajvasis. You can't afford to offend them. But Jagdananda was behind Mahaprabhu. So Jagdananda, once Mahaprabhu told that, okay, in one condition, I can allow you to go there. You go and straight approach to Sanatan Goswami and take his shelter. Sanatan Goswami was a more sober person during that time because he used to mingle with Vrajvasis. And his acceptability was much more than any of our sampradaya. He was also there. But it is said that Sanatan Goswami was most acceptable personality among Brajvasis. So even if Jagdananda offends somebody, he can resolve the situation. So Mahaprabhu told that you please go to Sanatan Goswami. So Jagdananda Pandit was very happily going to Vraja. What happened there? He started serving Sanatan Goswami. Sanatan Goswami also very happy. So he was very happy with Jagdananda. So one day what happened, Jagdananda was cooking rice. The pot was on the fire. And Sanatan Goswami came. He had red turban on his head.
Prabhu, we lost you again. Sankarshan Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Sankarshan Prabhu, you're there? Hare Krishna. Sankarshan Prabhu.
Prabhu, I called Prabhu. I think he's adjusting again. Maybe he's logging in, logging off, and logging in, Prabhu.
Yep, he's coming. Sankarshan Prabhu, back.
Maybe someone else also.
Yeah, Prabhu, sorry, I connected to my mobile. Maybe internet is disturbing here. So I will start from little back. So
The
Jagdananda
turban on his head. Turban on the head of Sanatana Goswami.
So listening this, he became so furious and he told that you are the topmost devotee of Mahaprabhu. How can you accept anything from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He simply lifted that hot pot, rice-filled hot pot, and ran to hit to Sanatana Goswami. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what could be? But Sanatana Goswami on another side, he was also highly spiritually elevated. He could understand the bhava of Jagdananda. He was very happy and dancing that today I have seen the real mood of Jagdananda. So this way, but understanding the situation, Jagdananda paid obeisances. He told, sorry, I'm extremely sorry. I should not behave like this. But please, I can't help myself. If somebody rejects Chaitanya Prabhu's even slightly. So this was the bhava of Jagdananda. In one dialogue with Chaitanya Prabhu is telling that Jagdananda, why you are not going to Dwarka? That is your place. You should go there. Why you are serving me? Ami to bhikhari, ati mora seva kena. There are so many sannyasis. Why do you serve me? I am beggar. And if you be here, you will come across to many beggars like me. Listening this, what Jagdananda replied, Muni Bali Rekhe Dao Tomara Chalana Chalan. Matlab, this is your trick, Chaitanya. Stop your tricks. I am a maid servant of Srimati Radharani. Do not speak that way. That you don't send me to Dwarka. I want to serve Radharani only. Amar Radher Varna Kari Chechuri Vraje Leya Yaba Ami Tumai Chora Dhari. Well, you have stolen the complexion of my Radharani. You are thief. I am doing to catch you and bring you back to Raja. So you don't push me to Dwarka. And I want Radharani's feet, but you want to push me aside and send me to Dwarka? This is your play. I can't accept this. I understand perfectly that you act as a sannyasi and you want to trick all of us and say, so Radharani yourself. So this is what Jagdananda's reply to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we can understand the intensity of their connection to the supreme bhava, the ultimate rasa, milos, which Krishna is enjoying. And Krishna is enjoying through many acharyas, many devotees, different rasa. That is why it's called Rasraj. We sincerely pray to Guru and Gauranga that let Krishna also use us as an instrument and for his pleasure. May not be of this kind. I mean, we definitely would like to, but seeing our disqualification, we at least aspire to have a glimpse of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to shower on us and have this kind of prema exchanges with him. That is what, I mean, that gives the vision of sadhaka, that those are our landmarks. I mean, we can reach there and then ultimately without any tinge of material impurity, we can realize this. So this kind of lila can teach us the depth and the purity of spotless loving affairs between Radha and Krishna. So here I end my class. I have taken this everything from Prema Vivarta. There are so many things, but having time constraint, I humbly request devotees to read. Anyhow, Caitanya Caritāmṛta is going on, but Prema Vivarta reading is also not time consuming. So side by side, we can read and understand this kind of relationships between divine couple and the devotees with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hari Hari. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Very well, Prabhu. Wonderful nectar. Really, it was amazing to understand the mood of Jagadananda and the pastimes between Jagadananda and the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You took us to a different world today. The wonderful pastimes and the tattva of acharyas also you understand, so that how what intents, what mood they write this is scriptures, so that we can easily understand the tattva of Radharani and Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu. It's a wonderful session. I'm sure so many questions will be there, but since the time is up, maybe we'll take the questions or discussions either in the group or next week. I'd like to thank both Sankarshan Prabhu and Varunapati Prabhu for a wonderful explanation of today's session. Quickly, anybody has any comments before we wind up today's session? Okay, so we'll close the session here, Prabhu. Thank to both Varunapati Prabhu and Sankarshan Prabhu once again. Since the time is up, so we are not extending further for a discussion. Only one announcement, couple of announcements is that we started another project exclusively for the benefit of our CC members and of course those who are followers or those who are keen study of Chaitanya Caritāmṛta. I requested Her Grace Anangamanjari Mataji to recite the Chaitanya Caritāmṛta slokas by chapter wise and record it so that we can upload in the YouTube. So every one of us, we know that what tone, what mood these slokas can be sung, because we are struggling to sing Chaitanya Caritāmṛta slokas in Bengali accent. So Mataji has kindly accepted the request. So Mataji is going to start from chapter 1, and it will be chapter wise. We are going to have a recording and upload in the YouTube so that we know what mood, what accent we can sing these slokas. Number 2, second announcement is next week we are going to have full session with one surprise for a full session. I will not announce the name now. So it's first time we are hearing the voice from Prabhu. So these two are announcements, and then we'll catch up next week again. So further discussion we can have it in the group. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, Matajis, and those who are attending this session and those who are not in the group, CC group. I posted a link in the chat box. Please can accept use that link and join that group, so that it is not necessary that one should be in the group to attend the session, but we will know the updates and the discussion also can understand, because most of the discussion happens in the group also. The questions and comments and suggestions and some announcements will be there in the group. So through using the chat link, please join the group, those who are not in the CC group. So with this, I'll stop the session here. Thank you very much, Prabhuji Matajis, for attending today's session, and wonderful session by both Varunapati Prabhu and Sankarshan Prabhu. Thanks to them once again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.